Let's bring you this quote from Mino Raiola. Is he a big friend of Jim White? I think, well, he used to be anyway.
Mino we Raiola, like you.
Yeah. Mino Raiola on talkSPORT. Now, we have the guy who produces this show produces the brilliant Trans-Europe Express on a Sunday night, don't you, mate? talkSPORT, correct me if I'm wrong, based in Turin. This is a big test of his knowledge, isn't it? It's based in Turin. He's not listening, is he? Is it based in Turin?
He never listens.
talkSPORT. Yeah, it is. He did know that. So bear that in mind with a view to him going back to Juventus. Mino Raiola has told a Turin-based media organisation, I can say that it's over for Paul Pogba at Manchester United. That's his quote.
Do you think that's why obviously he's not getting a start, is it? I mean, he started the other day, we know that, but it's almost like he was resting his main players for the big game this week. And Pogba comes in, and then he puts in a decent performance, doesn't he?
Decent? He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I think with him on the pitch, before they made the changes, they weren't really dominant, and he wasn't really dominant during that period. When they made the changes, it was a different team, and Pogba's a good player. I've always said it about him. I'm a massive fan of Pogba, and I think he gets a lot of unnecessary criticism, and he's the easy one to turn to when you want to drop someone to please the fans. Drop Pogba. Because the fans have got it in for him from full stop, and they always have.
They have. However, he has not performed at a high level on a consistent basis for Manchester United. And for a stellar signing, I think that you would expect that. I'm kind of with you in that I think he gets far more criticism than he should. But having said that, I think that he should be performing more consistently at a high level. I think I've got to bear in mind a couple of factors here. He did have COVID this season, and I've read a story about how hard it was for him to recover from that. Incredible breathing difficulties he had, and we can't underestimate that, how that might have impacted him, certainly this season. But I thought he was superb on Saturday. But another part of that is that Man United did not look like a team until they brought on Bruno Fernandes. So we had a lot of pushback when we talked about Ole last week, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, after the defeat to Paris Saint-Germain. A lot of pushback from United fans. Some very articulate calls. We had brilliant calls from United fans defending Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wanting to back him, saying they are going in the right direction and the football is more positive and easier to watch than it has been under Mourinho and Van Gaal. So they made some good points. But is it not the case? What they've got at Manchester United right now is a one-man team. With Bruno Fernandes, they've got a chance of being good. Without him, they've got no chance.
Said it last week. Quite happy with that, because when he's not in the team, when he's not in the team, when he went through that spell where his performances weren't what we'd been seeing from Fernandes, Manchester United's performances dropped. And then when he's in and playing well, they just look like they can beat absolutely anyone. And I think that's the case. It's quite an obvious statement to say it, but when Fernandes is in the side and playing well, Manchester United do so much more with the ball. They look dangerous. They look like scoring. Whether it's a penalty, do you know what I mean? Or one of his deliveries, he creates space for himself, and then once you give a player of his quality some space, he can deliver the cross and create for everyone else around him, because there's some good players around him. But he is the key to everything Manchester United do. And it is a worry when one player is everything. It's a bit like Barcelona.
Well, that was what I was going to say to you about Fernandes, because with the players they have at the football club, should it be the case that they are so reliant on one man?
And that's what I don't understand. How can they be reliant on one man to deliver, to perform, for Manchester United to be at their best? It shouldn't be like that, should it? Surely. If one player is slightly off, it shouldn't really affect the team. Ollie should be able to make changes, make a substitution that can change it. And for some reason, not saying it's his fault, he can't. They rely heavily. People said game changer when he came to the club. And he was. Look how they played when Fernandes came in last season.
Phenomenal. I mean, he has been phenomenal in the... not even been there a year since he arrived at Manchester United. When I look back at what happened on Saturday at West Ham, and West Ham were superb first half as Man United were awful. Fernandes comes on second half and literally, you called him a game changer. He changed the game, there's no doubt. But the ball clearly goes out. It's another VAR catastrophe, how they can't possibly spot that ball has gone out, from the keeper.
Ridiculous. Even Moyes were looking over his head behind him. It's so obvious it had gone out.
They've had an incredible bit of good fortune there, Man United. And in some ways, I'm quite glad that it wasn't spotted, because it was such a brilliant finish from Paul Pogba. It was a joy to watch a goal like that.
Great goal.
But you do wonder, without that little bit of luck, where does it go from there for Manchester United? Do they really go on and win the game in the manner that they did? Because they needed that, and it was a bit of magic from Pogba, that goal, to get them back into the game, and they needed Bruno Fernandes as well. So it's kind of it's hanging by a thread a little bit. It's not based on, the away form is phenomenal, but Manchester United being a force in terms of the upper echelons of the Premier League, maybe even a title challenge at some point, that is all based not on solid foundations, is it?
Well, they can't keep coming back. They can't keep coming back from conceding first on these away games. They're doing it at the moment, but they can't keep doing it. And when you look at them, really, for how they've played, it's a surprise to see them where they are. They're well in it, aren't they? Well, they're in 5th place, Aid.
I'm amazed.
With the game in hand, they could still be 2 points behind Tottenham who are top. So, amazing, really. Manchester United have not really been at their fluent best. You don't watch them and think they're brilliant, but they're getting the results. But they are reliant on Fernandes. And Rashford as well. Let's give Rashford a bit of a blast as well, because when he come on as well, he was such a positive influence on the rest of the team as well. I think Rashford and Fernandes, they're his main two. That's why he rested them in that game, and they both came off the bench.
Yep, and they made that difference. In terms of Pogba, it's easy to say that, his agent's saying this, they could do without the circus, etc., etc. But what you're missing, if he does go, is actually a really good player.